The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the IBM Mobility Services panel chat presented by Level 5 Technology Group and IBM. My name is Eric and I'll be your host for today. We will be going over IBM's mobility services and how the world of mobility affects your business, your reputation, and your bottom line. We have a great group of panelists today. Today we have Linda Lighting, Vice President, Mobility Strategy and Portfolio Management, Stacy Ramos, Associate Partner, Mobility Services, and Gerald Longoria, Mobility Services Portfolio Leader. And I will now hand it over to Linda as she will conduct a mobility overview.
Thank you, Eric, and it's great to be here as part of the panel chat for Level 5. Myself and the team are excited to go over some information and then also to be part of the question and answer session you have planned. So I'll direct everybody's attention to the presentation. IBM GTS Mobility Services is a service line and a piece of the overarching IBM Mobile First direction that we set a course upon really many, many years ago, because IBM has been a mobile company for quite some time, well over 10 years. Recognizing the experiences that we had around bringing mobile to our enterprise workforce, we also wanted to be able to share that and help our clients with that transformation. If you move to the next page, page 2 in the slide, you'll see that we pulled out some choice pieces of information, if you will. I'm sure it's not new to most of you on the phone. It's sourced from some of the consultant and analyst firms in the industry focused on mobile. But what it really represents is how disruptive, in fact, hyper-disruptive mobility has become, especially within the enterprise, as it works to mirror the consumerization or the consumer experience that we've all had with what mobility and the transformation and adoption of this technology has meant to us and our personal lives, now extending into the enterprise. And as folks who run our businesses, and in particular our IT, it does present some challenges that we have to be cognizant of, know how to address, do so efficiently and effectively, still ensure some productivity for our business and our company while helping our end users in their transformation, but achieve a very satisfying and, in fact, superior personalized end user experience as they bring mobility into the workplace, or you choose as executives and decision makers to make mobile available for your companies. So again, just fun facts there. You can read through them. I won't spend a lot of time because I know that the interest in the content is really around several of the capabilities that we have through our business partners, and Level 5 being one. If you move to the next page, page 3, these are the disruptors and the challenges and opportunities that they really create. So we try to encapsulate them really in 5 major areas. Securing the enterprise, which is at the utmost top of everyone's list, whether you're a CIO or CISO, and in fact, even as a personal user of the device, making sure that you have secure access to your enterprise, you can do your work from any place or anywhere, and you have a separation between your personal information as well as your corporate information. And then creating your own experience. It isn't really about picking the device as a corporate managed program and with an edict that says you have to have only this device. It really is about choosing the experience for your employees as you embrace mobility, and making sure that the interactions are productive and satisfying for your end user employee, as well as continuing, again, back at the back end, at the back office, making sure that you stay secure and you provide the right level of access to the right employee, potentially even based on their role or responsibility in your company. And then integrating mobile, just in an overall business value perspective, how do you translate mobile into your business? How do you run mobile every day and ensure that you're driving business value out? How do you make sure as well that you're getting the right kind of budget support and investment dollars to help that transformation and in turn help your company succeed with using mobile as certainly a disruptor, but also as a technology advancement to help you win in your own marketplace. Managing mobile applications, certainly top of mind. Everyone needs an enterprise app store, and that enterprise App Store has to not only reflect an integration point of your legacy corporate apps and your back office management systems, but it also has to be able to support application development and the build of new applications that work in a hybrid world, both for legacy access as well as access through mobile devices. And finally, readying the infrastructure and your skill sets. There is perhaps a misnomer in the marketplace that enterprise transformation around mobile is easy. It's not. It's complex. It does require specific skills. You run into challenges and roadblocks. And the infrastructure and the roadmap journey that you start with and how you document where you want to go, your ultimate and design point, are so important to make sure that you're making your investments tied to your business strategy, tied to your overall execution plan around mobile. If you turn to the next page, obviously converting any of these disruptors helps to deliver competitive differentiation. So realistically, it makes you faster, it makes you more responsive, you have better productivity, and you can look at efficiencies across the board in your organization, not just IT. You have protected and secured your environment, and most importantly, and actually I would probably put that at the top of the list, you have empowered and motivated a workforce and presented to them through mobile an experience that is just as pleasant and as satisfying, and oh, by the way, makes them feel better about work and doing work, that similar to what they have in their consumer experience with these same kinds of technologies. So on the next page, if you move forward, we're on page 5, you can see that IBM's point of view really leads to a superior personalized experience. This is what we want to offer our clients, what we want to offer through our business partners to their clients. We really want to focus not just on the device, but on the overall overarching experience that is personalized. We know you, we get you, we understand your challenges, and we understand and appreciate your business, and we design our solutions to be able to support you for that anywhere, anytime, or on any device. It really becomes multi-channel access to the help you need, workspace management around your platform, and workplace support around how you get assistance. In addition to which, we underlay that with a set of analytics that can help you continue to improve that mobile transformation and that mobile experience in your enterprise environment. So then finally, I would just pop on to my page 6, which is our best practices in innovation and capabilities that we bring through the portfolio of services that we offer to all of our clients. We really we align them with 4 transformational points of view. One is around transforming the enterprise, where it gives you the opportunity to leverage consulting capabilities and our experience, breadth, and depth to reinvent your business through mobile and adoption of mobile in your enterprise. Engaging, which is in the green area there as you move down the circle from clockwise. Engaging better with your employees, better with your customers. Leveraging social collaboration tools and leveraging analytics to see how your environment is actually working and responding, and how are your users reacting to the new experiences you're bringing to them with the enterprise transformation around mobile. Certainly building, as you continue down on the 4 points, building at the bottom there is building around mobile apps and mobile development. So the ability to rapidly bring new applications to the forefront for use with the mobile user, but also ensuring that those applications are effective and hit the mark in terms of what they were designed for. Again, it's also a tie back into the analytics of use. And then finally on the left, as you move back up, it's around protecting the infrastructure. It really is the security around the device, the applications, the data, the access, the content. All of those piece parts reflect managed mobility services. It's really an extensive set of capabilities that goes beyond just managing a device. And then mobile virtualization services, which is really about transcending the device and the platform and being able to share access to applications and platform views that are consistent and seamless as one of your employees might move from device to device. Additionally, you have mobile client care, which is really about multi-access to assistance. Our mobile network services, which is around wireless capabilities and recommendations for design and install for your for your LAN WAN environment. And then mobile device procurement and deployment, which happens to be tied very closely with managed mobility, and for our clients reflects being able to find the right pieces of hardware or the right device types, the right operating platforms, and be able to purchase them through IBM, along with accessorizing and configuring them, depot support, refresh, break fix, etc. So you'll note that we also mention on here the business partner enabled offerings today that we brought to market this year in a very short time have been the infrastructure consulting, the managed mobility, and the mobile virtualization. Today you're going to hear a bit more in detail about two of those, and that's the infrastructure consulting with Stacy Ramos, who's up next, and the managed mobility services with Gerald Longoria. So I'm pleased to introduce both of them. Stacy's up next. Thank you again for giving us the time today to meet with you and chat. Stacy?
Yes, Linda, thank you so much. And I just want to say before I go on, it's a really amazing portfolio of services that just spans individual organizations operating in a local geography, all the way up to large multinational organizations, and the scalability and breadth of services. It's just a really amazing thing to do. And it's not just me that's saying that kind of thing. The analysts around the world have looked at our portfolio, and they've really deemed us the world-class provider in this set of services. You can go to the next chart. When we sit here and we talk about these services inside the industry, we go to customers, we work with our business partners like Level 5, who is able to bring us forward and work with us here, which is great. Nobody is more passionate about bringing this forward and bringing these capabilities into the marketplace, because we know that these are the right answers in today's times. This superior personalized experience throughout the enterprise is the message that the industry needs to hear and be implemented. Anywhere, anytime access, any device, that is the capability we need to have inside of all of our organizations. And what we have found, working across these organizations of all these various sizes across the world, is a lot of these technology adoptions include a major change to the organization. It can be things that really affect and cut deep in the way that we're operating our businesses to really get the capabilities that we want. Transforming from everybody's in an office working on a laptop to this anywhere, anytime, any device access that's personalized to individual users, that creates tremendous opportunity for all of us inside these organizations to really make a difference in the way that we're operating our businesses. And in order to really harness those capabilities, we really need to spend some time thinking about what is the plan forward? What is the strategy that we're going to be following in order to put these into place? So it's my pleasure to be able to talk with us today about some of those capabilities that IBM can bring forward in partnership with Level 5. So inside of our consulting services that we have, we really kind of broke this up for today's call into sort of three conversations that I'm hoping we can dive deeper into during the course of today. The first one is this concept of packaged accelerators. These are specific type of services that are designed to solve practical, immediate problems inside of the organization. Things like, what is the right device that I should be deploying for corporate liable devices? What is the right set of policies that I need to have in place to manage this mobile workforce that I have going on? Where can analytics really play a role inside my enterprise? And what kind of ROI can I really expect to get out of analytics? And then also, very important, how do I get that superior personalized experience? It's all based around understanding the personas that we have in the organization and the effect of those personas, and how am I going to operate against those personas. So these are all very specific ways that we can get involved, add real value in a very short and tight kind of a time frame. In addition to that, we also have a number of industry type points of view about what this workplace of the future looks like. IBM itself is going through a transformation to a workplace of the future. We ourselves, 400,000 people around the world, are trying to grapple and understanding how to deal with this kind of change that's happening inside the marketplace. And we have taken that experience and extended it out to all of the other partners that we're working with inside of the different industries. So we've been able to develop very specific points of view of what is the workplace of the future for finance, for retail, inside of healthcare, and many of the others. So these kinds of very deep industry knowledge about where is the workplace of the future going is actually absolutely tantamount to being able to be successful in these kinds of transformations. And then finally, one of the things I'm really excited to be able to talk about are some capabilities that we have around offering complete solutions to business problems. It's one thing to talk about a portfolio of services and the breadth and capability of those, but ultimately at the end of the day, we need to solve the business problems and get the business initiatives implemented that we need to have inside of our organization. And this is where we come forward with complete mobile solutions to meet specific business needs around mobile workforce enablement, to get into the hands of staff and field workers corporate liable devices that are secured, configured, and operating correctly. And also there's a whole set of conversation with the partnerships we have at IBM around being able to bring Macintoshes into an enterprise environment, and how exciting that is that we can now offer, along with PCs, along with Android, along with iOS, and all of the other kind of management platforms that we can also bring forward in a combined, consistent way, also bring Macintoshes into the environment and make sure that they are secure, that they're running the right applications, and that they're going to operate inside of that enterprise environment in a sturdy and strong way. So these are the kinds of planning, the kinds of future type thinking that an organization needs to be considering before they're going to go off and really start making the transformation moves that we need towards the workplace of the future. And these are the kinds of things I'm really excited about being able to talk through Level 5 to our customers today. So with that, I'd like to introduce Gerald Longoria. He's doing some tremendous work for us in building the portfolio. So Gerald, I'd like to pass it over to you.
Thank you, Stacy, and thanks everyone for your time today. If you'll go to chart 10, I'm going to spend a few minutes and just have a couple of charts around the IBM Managed Mobility Service. And we'll start out with chart 10. This is really just to depict some of the realities of the mobile world today. First is that devices change. This is a technology space that moves very, very quickly, and the OSs on those devices change even more frequently. And this really raises a big concern around security. It's a challenge as our mobile world has enabled us to reach for any device and conduct business, whether that's through email, instant messaging, or mobile applications. We can reach for our smartphones, we can reach for our tablets, our laptops. And you need the ability to ensure that these devices are protected and that your employees can access the critical information and apps when they need them. So this requires a mobile-ready infrastructure and the right governance, the right security policies in place that allow you to enforce security of data and the devices. And there are many different devices and platforms to support. This introduces new pressure to the IT department and requires skills that may not be in place today. So let's go to the next chart, chart 11. So implementing a mobile-ready infrastructure allows you to address key concerns and take advantage of mobile in the enterprise. And we'll start with security. This includes the device as well as ensuring you've got the right access to critical information, whether that's corporate data behind a firewall or a specific application, corporate application. Ensuring you've got the policies and the authentication in place for that critical data. Second is support. So as you roll out new devices to a user, they can easily get set up and ready for business. Ready to use applications as you have application updates that need to be pushed out. to the Salesforce as an example, having the right support in place to deliver that efficiently and effectively. Third is, integration. Integrating into things like your email systems and your calendar systems or specific applications. Ensuring those connectors are configured and the right users will be able to authenticate and access, the key information and applications they need that allow them to get work done. And lastly is, the skills and the expertise that you need. With, an IBM Managed Mobility Services, you leverage, proven IBM delivery experts. We've been in this business, for many, many years and have the ability to deliver these capabilities consistently. So let's go to the next chart, on chart 12. And just look a little bit closer at our managed mobility services. We deliver these capabilities in a seamless fashion. This allows you to support your mobile environment, supporting the devices, with best-in-class security software and services. We do support all of the current popular platforms and vendors, so whether that's iOS or Android or Windows or BlackBerry. And probably the best example that we have of what we've done here really is IBM, our own use of the services today. We're supporting more than 120,000 mobile employees with these integrated capabilities. And so these services, as Linda mentioned at the outset, are available, for our partners like Level 5 today, and we're really excited to be able to bring these forward to you and to your clients. So let's go to the next slide, chart 13, and we'll just wrap here with our suggested next steps. So you might, we've covered a lot of ground today with Linda's overview of the portfolio and Stacy talking about our capabilities in consulting and, one of our services, managed mobility. You might be saying, well, what do I do, now? There are actually a couple of things that you can do. Number one is, to explore a little bit further and, maybe conduct a discovery workshop, really to, explore even deeper kind of where you go next from a mobile strategy perspective. Second, we have a couple of options around an ROI study for bring your own device. We are working with many clients who are seeing benefits of enabling a BYOD program, and we can help quantify the benefits of that kind of program. Or potentially a health check assessment, really just to see how you're doing from a mobile performance standpoint. And lastly is visiting one of our innovation centers to really see these solutions in action firsthand. We've got an exciting center down in Austin that's available where you can actually see how we have implemented and how these solutions can help clients today. So with that, that really concludes the material we were going to cover. I will hand it back over to Eric, to the moderator, to open it up for any questions.
Thank you, Gerald. Now we will go to the Q&A portion of this panel chat. So we have a couple questions here. The first one is, I don't know if I have the resources and I can't allocate funding until I have a plan. How can you help?
I can take that one. There is a common consideration here where it's sort of you have a chicken and eggs kind of a problem, where there's a concept of, I have some initiatives, I want to move forward, I have some ideas about what to do, but I'm never going to get funding, even if there's a positive ROI. I don't know if there is, because I got to put all the pieces together and figure out what the complete cost is going to be, what the complete return is going to look like, and so I can't get off the stick in order to make that happen. But at the same time, I can't spend the money to go find those things out either, because I don't know the answers yet. So you kind of have a chicken and egg problem in order to get the ball rolling to really start some of these transformation projects. And it's along those lines that IBM, with partnership with Level 5, is able to come in, and we can spend sort of like a half-day workshop working with you and your stakeholders and have a conversation around exactly what initiatives we're trying to make happen, bring in some of our expertise for what those cost factors are going to look like and how those are going to behave, and sort of put together what the straw man is going to look like for a real transformation project. And that would give us capability to really sort of lay out the groundwork, to lay out what our path forward is going to be. And so this is something that IBM with Level 5 we can go in and we can help you with, and sort of get the ball rolling at your organization in order to move it forward.
Great answers. Okay. The next question that we have is, how are industries using mobility services to gain a competitive advantage?
Stacy, I think that might be you too, or Gerald. Okay,
Sorry, Eric.
That's okay. I don't know if you guys were on mute or what, but I mean, so first of all, I think that, you know, different industries is not something that's new to IBM. I'm sure it's not new to Level 5. We have use cases that we build with our clients and for our clients to hit some of the typical challenges that you might be facing in a specific industry or vertical. We build the solutions, as well as starting with the infrastructure consulting guidance around an industry flavor. So Stacy, you may want to touch on that.
I'm happy to, Linda. Thank you. So there is, we have found that there's distinct differences by industry in terms of the way mobile is being laid out. We can speak specifically around some work that we're doing with various hospitals around the kinds of challenges they have around mobility. It deals with HIPAA constraints. It deals with geographic proximity, considerations for information flow. It deals with tracking inside of these different areas. And so consequently, the sort of the conversation we have in the healthcare is very different than like we have with insurance. That it's very field-based, it's very right now. There's a lot of customer interaction with the applications or the data, along with the agents that are in the field talking to them. And so you have these very disparate situations that are industry-based. So that's why it's really important to work with a partner like Level 5 and IBM to come forward with the industry-specific points of view and what other organizations in that same industry are doing, and how your specific organization can change course, either leapfrog, catch up, go a different path, understand what those are going to do to your business in relation to how the other elements and the other factors and the other considerations of other organizations in your industry are behaving. So I hope that helps.
So pretty sure that answer would help. Okay, so the next question that we have is, how do I determine when I need a mobile strategy, and how can IBM help me create one for my company?
So I think I'll take that one, Linda, if you don't mind. I get to do all the talking. It's fantastic. So so when do we know we have to do a strategy? And this is a common question. I get this quite a bit, right? So I have a few different criteria that I use to dictate whether or not you need to go through a strategy conversation, or if you can just dive into, say, a virtual device implementation. So it comes down to a few different factors. One of them is I like to think about, is there a very defined solution for what it is that you're trying to accomplish, for what it is that you're trying to do and move towards? If there's a defined solution out there, then it normally pays just to go out there and try to execute that solution. And that's a great option. Now, there may still be some strategy work that happens in the implementation of that solution, but you can move straight towards the solution phase if there's a well-defined solution for what you're doing. Another factor I like to look at is if it's not just a well-defined solution, it's a little bit larger than that, is it what I refer to as a $1 million problem? Is it something that is going to cost the organization upwards of 7 figures in order to address? Is it going to cause harm to the organization in excess of 7 figures if it doesn't go correctly, if it doesn't work? Because if either of those factors are true, well, then it's worth spending 5%, 3% of that cost and making sure that you have the right answer. And so this is what I refer to as the $1 million problem question, right? And then finally, the other reason why I really like to encourage people to think about strategy before they just move off into transformation phase is, are we starting from a good base? Do we know everything that we have going on? Are we very comfortable with where we're at currently, and that we're in a position that we can effectively build on top of it and move the organization forward? If we're not, like if we've just performed a merger with another organization and we're not exactly sure how they're managing those devices, or we're not exactly sure what their Citrix configuration is looking like and how they're behaving and how they're operating that, we're not sure how their policies and their procedures are incongruous with anything that we're doing. So if there's questions along any of those lines, well, then it behooves us to sit back and say, let's, again, $1 million problem, let's look at what the right strategy is, let's get all the players on the same page, and really lay out what the roadmap and transformation plan is. Let's get the ROI models built so that we can secure the funding for the initiatives and we know exactly what it's going to cost us and exactly what our returns are going to look like. And then those are, then we're on the right path in order to really move forward. So just in summary, I like to look for, is there a well-defined solution or not? And if there's not, maybe lean more towards strategy. Again, if we have $1 million sort of a problem, then maybe we need to spend, 3-5% to make sure we get the problem right. And then finally, as we're trying to roll out this whole problem, making sure that all of the pieces really have the right foundation, that we're really building from the right place. So those, in my mind, are really kind of the right ways to look at whether or not we need to begin with a strategy or if we can just move straight to transformation.
Great, thank you. Let's see what else we have. Here's one. How will mobile services affect productivity and communications?
Gerald? I'm doing a lot of talking. I feel bad. No, you're doing fine, Stacy. Gerald, that's you for managed mobility as one aspect of the portfolio, right?
Absolutely. And, we see a really huge impact to IT today in their ability to, leverage a service like managed mobility for, a very tactical issue of, protecting their devices, ensuring that they are secure, ensuring that, their end users can get, to their network, to their applications, and to the data. This allows them to, then focus on other areas of the business and look at other aspects that might be more strategic. So, leveraging a service like this, takes a tremendous load off of IT, and they can simply leverage, the expertise of IBM services and delivery capabilities. So we do see, very, very positive impact in terms of the productivity, efficiencies and ability to go focused on areas that are more strategic for the business.
Great. Okay. Okay. I'm not looking for IBM to create an entire strategy. Our business is working out pretty well, but we want to move forward. How could you guys help us with that?
Stacy, I guess you have to talk some more.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand that. They're not necessarily wanting us to help with the strategy.
An entire strategy. But are there
an entire strategy? Just a portion, right? So again, we offer a number of those like accelerators that address just portions of a strategy, and that's just a small list of what we have. We have a number of other ones as well. that address just like a portion of a strategy, and that's great. We have no problem getting involved and just helping with the immediate issue, the thing that's weighing and keeping you awake at night, right? Let's get that off the table, get a good night's sleep, and then we can move on to the next item. So,
and is that fair, Stacy, that would be the focus point of, even on the half-day session, what you could yield in a half-day session doesn't necessarily have to be an all-inclusive end-to-end strategy, but it could be a client discussion around what does keep you up the most at night for mobile.
Yeah, that's a great point. And actually, when we do those half-day sessions, which we do with customers around the world, they're fantastic. They're so much fun. So the real value that we do there is that we cannot even come close to addressing everything going on in the organization along the workplace and user services in a half-day session. It's just too much. And so we always, it's a focused conversation around the real issues and the problems that are keeping that customer awake at that specific time. So that's a great clarification. And so that's really what we like to focus on, those half-day sessions.
And then the scalability and flexibility that we incorporate into the overall consulting roadmap says you may want to consider as a client addressing security around mobile devices and how you set policy and guidelines and guidance. But you may not yet be ready to talk about building new apps for your enterprise app store, just as kind of like the spectrum of where you could go. So each piece becomes a consumable component or a modular component of the capabilities that we can bring to the table, just and truly just based on how we've done it, not only for ourselves, but for multiples of other clients. Our own experience was never one of all in 100%, everybody gets a mobile device and we do conversion on day 2. It just doesn't work that way. And honestly, it's been my experience in working with clients that is where the failure to be able to leverage mobility in the most effective way at the enterprise level fails, because there is a predilection that you can do it all at once in a single cutover, boom, all of a sudden we're mobile. And it really doesn't work that way. It's a very complex environment to be able to integrate it deeply with your legacy environment.
To follow up that answer, why are mobility issues important now?
I'm sorry, Eric, why are mobility issues what?
Important now.
You guys will have to help me. That broke up for me.
Let me repeat that. Why are mobility?
Yeah, why are mobility issues important now? What's happened most recently along these to really, why is this such a big conversation now? Why aren't we having this sort of a conversation 5 or 10? What's the big delta that's happening? I mean, we've got some great research on that. You want to talk about that, Linda?
Feel free. Go ahead.
So there's been some, there's a great report came out by Gartner just in June that talked about this wonderful, just great, music to our ears, right, in terms of what we're doing. But it talked about how there's a whole class of workers coming into the workforce that have a set of characteristics that they've never had before. Like, for instance, anybody coming out of college today has never in their life used a phone that was plugged into the wall, had a wire attached to it. None of them have. They've grown up in a wireless world. It is the expectation on how they behave on a day-to-day basis. They expect to be able to go from one device to another device to another device throughout the day, working on multiple tasks at the same time across the different devices. That's an expected way to work. They also have this expectation that they can work early in the morning, they can work late at night, they can work when they're wanting to work, they can get these things done when it's right on the device that they want to be able to do them. These are elements of our workforce that we've never had before. We're no longer tethered to a set of wires. We're no longer tethered to a desktop. And so we have the ability to really harness a level of productivity, a level of collaboration, a level of sharing that we've never had before. And so this is a seismic shift that Gartner refers to as sort of like once-in-a-generation type opportunity. And over the next 5 years, we're going to see this complete change of attitude, a complete change of point of view in the way that the world is operating, the way that the industries are handling their workforce. The way that we get help, the way that we service our machines, the emotional attachment that we have to a specific device, all of those things are going to change over the next few years as we move more towards virtualized environments, thin clients, web enablement, shared storage. These are all capabilities that are now finally coming to fruition, and these technologies are all maturing right now at the exact time that we have a workforce that is demanding that kind of mobility, those kinds of capabilities. So that's what's different now. That's what changes right now. And this is why it's such an exciting time and such an exciting conversation for all of us in this industry.
Excellent answer, Stacy. Thank you. Eric, do we have more questions?
Yeah, we have a couple more.
Okay, good.
We have limited resources. How should we prioritize mobility projects?
That's a really good question. With limited resources, how should you prioritize mobility projects? I think you have to look at how comfortable do you feel about mobile devices being used in your workplace? Have you addressed the secure access and your policies around whether or not you have employees walking in the door and using devices to access your confidential and key information? Do they walk back out and use that same device to take pictures of their kids or leave it on a restaurant table? I think if, from my perspective, in a CIO seat or an owner of a company, I would first and foremost focus on security around the enterprise, around my business, data access, and then start to think about what do I need to do next? Do I need to translate my applications so they run on mobile devices? And if so, what applications are most effective for my workers in the field or in the office setting? Do I need to set up strategically some assistance for them that is not as traditional as picking up a phone and typing through a VRU? Do I need to think about how I get them multi-channel access to getting them help quickly if they do have a problem with their mobile device? No, by the way, does it need to parallel a consumer experience? The other thing that would factor into that decision from my point of view would be, what are my clients using? Are my clients expecting me? So one of our goals in business is to create brand loyalty. It doesn't matter what you sell or service. What do my clients expect to see me doing with mobile? How can I make mobile work for me so I differentiate my business in the marketplace, and then my clients become more loyal to my brand? So just some things. There's a different priority for different companies and different business problems, but what is universal is the first aspect of, do you know what's happening in your environment, and are you sure your enterprise or your infrastructure is secure?
Great, thank you. So we have a few more. Hopefully we'll run through them pretty quickly for you guys to go about your day. I have my own mobile application that I support. Does your service include the ability to manage these apps and push them out to devices?
Yeah, I'll take that one. Yeah, absolutely. We find that to be pretty common, where clients do have their own mobile applications, and as part of the service, we can provide that application management by way of setting up a corporate app catalog, where you can place your applications that you want your end users to be able to browse and select and install. Additionally, to that sort of self-service model, we can do a push of an application. So, if you want to ensure consistency as you roll out a new app, or as an operating system is updated on devices, and ensure that concurrency, we can actually push that out to all of your employees or group subset of the end users, and that is provided as part of the service. I think we do like 5 application pushes per year. So yeah, absolutely, we can manage the application through an app store, manage pushing out of that application as well.
Okay. To follow up with that, I'm seeing more of my employees bring their own devices to work. Can your services support these devices also?
So yes, so the services that are available through the business partner channel as well as directly from IBM include managed mobility, which is what Gerald did the overview on. That encompasses whether or not you have a BYOD program or if you have a corporate managed program. And nowadays we've seen the terminology actually shift to a choose your own experience program, which really says corporate decision makers in a business/company have determined that there's no way around and no avoidance of mobile in the workplace. And again, back to the security point, the decision makers need to ensure that the corporate data is protected. So if BYOD is something that you're amenable to, that's great. BYOD can encompass everybody bringing different devices, which means you have to invest a lot more in skills and experience to have the coverage around access policy and guidelines for the hybrid platform. So whether it's Android or iOS or Windows or BlackBerry. I mean, there's so many variations, again, leading to my previous point about how complex mobility can really be. If you have a choose your own experience program, it kind of blends the best of both worlds, where you're providing an opportunity for your employees to bring their own device, so it's not a capital outlay for you. However, you are setting up the scenario of you can bring your own device, but your device must meet these protocols, must be within this set of catalog of devices and operating systems. So you can choose to be more selective and define what you want the experience for your corporate employee to be, and not just generically have to support every device, every operating system that walks through your doors. The other thing that you want to also look at, and we have integrated within some of our assessments the ability to look at what your telecom expense management charges are too. Especially as you have a wireless environment on campus for your locations, but you're paying for a lot of data and wireless service through your telco plan. So another thing to consider is the cost of mobile, and are there levers that you can use to adjust the cost of mobile as you do this transformation and embrace it for your business.
Great, thank you. This looks to be the last question. I have a need to give my mobile Salesforce access to secure documents behind my firewall. Can your services provide this type of access on tablets and smartphones?
Yes, absolutely. That is core and a key component. When we say can your service provide it, what we help you do as a client is establish those security policies and access methodologies based on either the role someone plays in your company, the applications themselves. So all of that can be done through the managed mobility services, enabling you full protection, whether it's at the application level or the device level. If it's at the application level and behind your firewall, that's absolutely within the realm of overall MDM management. If it's a device that someone leaves in a restaurant, we have the ability to remotely wipe and lock that device so that you know your data is secure from a corporate perspective, whether, again, it's at the application or the device level.
Great, thank you. I believe this will conclude the Q&A portion of the panel chat. Do you guys have anything that you guys want to add before we close out?
I would just add, Eric, that I'm really excited to be partnered with Level 5. I know that they bring their own vast experience to the table for their clients. Moving forward in the world of mobility for all of our clients is not only so important, it is crucial to the future success, as Stacy was saying. We are going to continue to see the disruption from the different device types and technology, which are rapidly evolving. Every year, our partner Apple announces, more exciting technology, as do other vendors. And the challenge to protect those devices, as well as what those devices access at the business or corporate level, stays paramount in the mind of every CIO and CTO and CEO, and no doubt in the rest of the C-suite, because it has financial implications on how you grow your business and how you protect your company information. So I'm just really excited to be part of your panel chat. I think it's a great forum to introduce and to engage with more clients in an expansive network that Level 5 has.
Thank you. With that being said, just thank you for everyone for joining this panel chat, and I'd like to thank Linda, Gerald, and Stacy for being on the panel. This will conclude the chat.
Thanks a lot.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.